That's all. This is a big donkey and root cellar.
Because they're demonstrating more formal living room.
Fourth son. Going on for a group for curing the food Pitman Creek metals. Built in 1891. See this? See, ringer. Today I am in a Heritage Farmstead Museum located at 1900 West 15th Street, Plano, Texas. It is also known as Ammie Wilson House. This is Naveen. Welcome back to another new episode of Tint and Travel. Just 5 minutes walk from my apartment. Time is exactly 9:45. The Farmstead Museum will open at 10 o'clock. On the left side, this is the long view of the museum. I have already taken the ticket through online. This museum is now open from Thursday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Need to go to the other side for the entrance. Heritage Farmstead Museum. This is the entrance. This is the parking area here, just near to the entrance. You enter inside, you can see the guest check-in. Here you can do the guest check-in. Guest check-in place. Here you can show your tickets and you have a gift shop here. You will get some good t-shirts, some good stuffs here. Soft toys of the animals. Just started the farmhouse tour. Here we can feed the hen.
Cameron, Hattie, I'll take your picture with the chicken. If you can come over here, I'll take your picture.
Yeah. This is turkey. That is the old house, farmhouse. This late Victorian farmhouse was built in 1891 on a 365-acre farm belonging to Mary Alice Farrell and her husband Hunter Farrell. This is the place for feeding chickens. All old equipments used for farming. Here you can see a cart. Don't know what it is. This is also very old one. Exhibited here inside the farmhouse. There is some event going on for a group. Here we can see very old carriage house. This is a carriage house. This carriage house was the garage for 1890s Farmstead. Here you can see all equipments used in the farm. Here providing the instruction for the farm tour. These are all very old equipments exhibited here. I'm not sure how old it is. We can ask them. This is the implement shed. In the 1890s, this covered wagon was actually a freight wagon made by the Studbaker company. See, this is also very old one. Ford. See this?
I think so. Like it. It's called like it. It's kind of like mom.
This is a old tractor. The company you can see Fordson. It's a very old one. We have two tickets. One is for the grounds tour and the other one is for this house tour. I have taken both the tickets. I'm waiting for the guide. So they asked me to wait here in front of this house. In front of the house, you can see parlor garden. This is the gate to the house. The old cycle. Ammie Wilson House. This is Ammie Wilson House. Just entering the house. Oh, very beautiful.
This would be like the parlor room, and it's got some games set up that the children would play with marbles. This is an example of like the donkey party game.
So
It's not exactly pinned
this
down.
building is the old building, right? 1891 constructed
Yes,
one, right? Okay.
Right. From the Wilson House.
Okay.
That
Ammie,
family
Ammie Wilson House. That's the name of this building, right? Okay.
And not like what you would think, the donkey party game was not really for children, it was for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the furnitures, everything, this is all old one.
I think that a lot of the rooms
Renovated?
have some old furniture, and some of it has been brought in to look like that of the time.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not all.
So what is that?
I think that's an old radio.
Oh.
I think that's an old radio. So you know, like in the 1920s, the families
Yeah.
would gather around
Yeah.
the radio
Right. Right.
before television.
See this is the old one. They maintained, very well. This is a good place to visit and you can see the history.
Oh,
These are all
yeah.
the old equipments, right? Maintained well here. Yeah.
Strung up
Yeah.
on that, it looks like a piece of brown molding. So what they would do, because there's shiplap behind all these walls, so it's much stronger than the way they build houses now. So they would put one of those things for the molding, and there's little hooks. So when they hung their pictures, they would hang them on that so
Yeah.
that they didn't have to destroy the wall. Yeah. And then another thing about the construction is you see how each door has a window above and it's in line with that window that's above that door.
Yeah.
So, when they built these houses, they didn't have central air conditioning. We do now because they renovated it so we weren't like sweating to death while we were doing
So this is for air circulation,
Right,
right?
so they would open up those windows and then
Yeah.
the air could go through. And if you look around, there's a lot of setups. Like this is the kitchen. And
Yeah.
So they would put those windows up above so the air could go through.
Yeah,
Well, this
yeah.
is really the dining room and then the kitchen area. So you can see some of the old appliances. Obviously, no washing machine. They would scrub.
Oh, which is the washing machine?
Well, they would just scrub to clean the clothes on it.
Oh, this is an old one, right?
So it was mostly somebody else would be the one, so they'd scrub it and then they'd wring it out. There's also a clothesline back there, but
Yeah.
early 1900s. Obviously make their own food, churn some butter. There's a butter churn.
Yeah.
How they would celebrate. I mean, it's got a lot of treats and stuff because they're demonstrating how they would dress up for a
Yeah.
party and that type of thing. And then the bathroom is back. The renovations were made later on to have some indoor plumbing. The house
Oh,
was
Royal Heritage bathroom, right?
yes, yes.
See the wooden closets, right? But very nice, just like a palace. Here you can see a old clock.
Well, they're celebrating George Washington's birthday, so there's more information about it on there. They're just kind of demonstrating how they would have a birthday celebration in that time period. Music room. So if a family was wealthy, they were more likely to have a music room. So they don't want you to touch anything in here, though. So they are old. Yeah, they don't want you to touch anything.
Yeah.
And like that's an old phonograph. And there's another old phonograph. So they put some things in there just kind of from the time period. They weren't necessarily part of the original house.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this is the more formal living room. They didn't let children even come in here. So clean. Usually they had visitors, they'd take visitors on Sundays or holidays.
Yeah.
That's what the
Nice.
family would do.
See how beautifully they maintained this old house with all the equipments, machineries, what they used in the olden days. This is really a worth place to come and see the old technology used for farming and even in the farmhouse. You can see the very old furnitures they maintain in this museum, and the musical instruments, the phonograph, and so many other things. This is the phonograph and this is piano. You're not supposed to touch that. Going to the upstairs. Oh, these are all the real one? The old shoes?
Yes. So this is some examples of some of the fashion of the time.
The leather Victorian high-toe shoes designed to preserve modesty. Protected ladies from
Yeah, to not seeing their legs.
Yeah, exposing their ankles, right?
This room.
Yeah.
The children's bedrooms are upstairs.
Yeah,
Sometimes in the hallway they might put like a guest.
yeah,
Or if they had some hired help,
yeah.
they might have the hired help sleep in the hallway.
Oh, this is the master.
And you can see there's an example of a crib from the 1900s.
Dresser. Mirror.
Yep. Yeah, so they've kind of had it set up to give some examples. I believe that's Ammie Wilson's husband.
He was a businessman,
Yes,
right?
obviously they were very successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then this actually has some examples. Now they talk about an electric razor, but this house didn't actually have electricity until 1915. So it was built in 1891. It was like about 15 years later that they brought some indoor plumbing, and then another 10 or 15 years before that, an old electric razor. But it talks about, I think on there, that it was later on before it.
It's a dryer, right?
Some examples of the types of toys that they had. If you look back in there, that's a hornet's
We are not allowed
nest.
to go inside?
No.
Okay.
They want you to look from out here. There's a hornet's nest. You see that? Or a bee? See? So the boys would go out and pick up all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff from the field and bring it in. Played with some simple wooden
Oh,
toys.
there is a miniature tractor, right?
Yep.
There is a tractor.
They used to have bigger families. Usually the kids shared room.
Horse toy we can see now also, right? Yeah, that's a miniature tractor.
Couple of them. There's a couple
Yeah.
of miniature tractors and a baseball.
Okay.
glove. Okay. Let's go over here to the girls' room.
So,
Obviously, back then there were a lot of chores to do. They usually made a lot of their own clothes, or they had someone who worked for the family home. If they were wealthy, that would make the clothes.
okay.
So a lot of times in the evening, the women of the house would be mending or churning butter, or sewing.
Yeah. This is girls' room,
This
right?
is the girls' room, and a lot of the girls' toys were kind of, like there's a little sweeper, an ironing board, kind of mimicking what
Yeah.
her role would be.
Done with the house tour. This was really a good one. If you're visiting this museum, don't forget to get the ticket for house tour. This is the main attraction in this museum. Now let me see around. Here the old chairs. These are all made of wood. See the old well. See, still water is there inside. This is also very old one. This is potting shed and root cellar. Let's go and see what it is.
According to Bill Radin, the farm's former foreman, our potting shed was built at the same time as the house, in 1891. Back in the 1800s, a potting shed was a common building on a farm. It was where many messy chores would be done. Chores that included working on sowing seeds, taking cuttings, potting plants, and more. Since sprouting plants could be easily damaged, the potting shed provided protection from harsh weather until they were ready to be planted outside. A potting shed also provided a dry place to store gardening equipment, boots, and overalls. Our potting shed is not something you would usually see on a smaller farm. The average farmer would not usually have the means to build this type of potting shed. By its very design, the structure seems to be pretty decorative.
Did you know we have a root cellar on the farmstead? And it is one of our original historic structures? Root cellars were of great importance to many families from colonial times all the way up until World War II. They were needed to help families get through long and harsh winters, and extremely useful for keeping dairy items fresh in the summer as well. As long as we have refrigerators, the root cellars probably won't be making a comeback anytime soon. But this method of food storage was critical for American families for centuries.
The root cellar measures 6 by 8 feet or 2 by 2.5 meters and was used for storing potatoes, squash, turnips, beans, beets, cabbages, pickles, and more.
Now going out. See the borewell. See. See the iron box. Oh, solid. See, this is old folding bench wringer. This wringer was used for wringing out the clothes after washing in a pot. This is a old equipment. This is the curing shed. The curing shed here on the Farrell Wilson farmstead was originally the tack room for the family. This room was mainly used by family for curing the food items, especially the meat and the vegetables. Now going out from this farmhouse. So here there is a way to reach the Pitman Creek. Just going there. This is Pitman Creek in Plano. See the water, very clear water. From the Farmstead Museum, we have a way to come over here. Very nice. See this. This is the farm shop discovery. Here we have 11 equipments. You can scan it out and see the description of each old equipment here. So the first one is, this one is the main forge with blower. This was especially used for working hot iron and other metals. This is the second one. This is anvils. This was the primary tool used by the blacksmiths. This is horseshoeing kit. This is sage block or buffalo's head. This is extremely a heavy tool used for blacksmithing. This is another woodworking tool. You can see this is portable forge. It's a smaller version of the bigger forge. You can see here. This is the grinding tool used for sharpening the tools. You will get all the details from the QR code provided here. This is really an interesting place for kids. They will definitely enjoy this place for sure. This is the event hall of the Heritage Farmstead Museum. The dairy industry then and now. See here, what is the normal fat content for regular ice cream? 10%. Whole milk contains what percentage of fat? 3.2%. There is a big donkey here. It's a very big one. This is D-level cream separator. It's an equipment, the cream separator used in olden days. This is a big donkey and not a mule. See, looks like this is from India. This is a model of schoolhouse. This is a replica of the olden schoolhouse. This was not part of 1891 construction. This is recently added. The bell in front of schoolhouse. This is the schoolhouse. See the table? This is the storage place for books. See the different lunch boxes here. These are all the old. The old fireplace used inside the schoolhouse. Yeah, done with schoolhouse. This is also a good one. Here we have the tractor ride, 1890 kitchen garden. See, this is the model of kitchen garden. This one is the foreman's cottage, constructed in 1891. This is also a old structure with 2-room structure measuring 14 by 18 feet. See, this is an old windmill inside this compound. Chicken feed $1 and for wagon ride $2 for each. So this is the other activity here, wagon ride. See the interesting wagon ride available inside the Farmstead Museum. Just trying for shooting, that's all. Yeah, this will be interesting one for kids. Going to try this. Yeah, we'll start. Ready? Yeah. If you don't want to walk and see, you can always use this. So thank you, Larry. You're fine with posting your video in my YouTube,
It's
right?
okay with me as long as it's okay with everybody else. Here.
Yeah, I have taken the consent from there. You are okay? I will post this in
Great.
YouTube.
Okay,
Thanks
thank
a
you.
lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Almost done with the Farmstead Museum tour. Now I'm going back to my apartment. With this, I'm ending this episode here. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.